What up, tribe? It's your girl Raji, and I would like to welcome you to my podcast, The House of Kush, where the evolved hustlers come to learn more about astrology, root work, tarot, conjure, culture, and a little bit of everything in between. So today we are tapping into the week ahead so you guys know what to do and how to maneuver in your business and personal lives. So before I get started, I want to say welcome to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys for checking me out. And to the OGs, thank you so much for continuing to support my content. Make sure you guys follow, like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You never know who it can help. Now, today, let's see. Today is Saturday, and as you guys know, Saturday is ruled by Saturn. So just a little bit on the Kush almanac about today before we, spill over into next week. So we know the moon is waning gibbous in Libra, and we are getting prepped in for the waxing phase that comes around it's going to come on officially on the 17th, but once you have a new moon, you start to feel the effects of that new moon like 3 days before. So you're gonna start to focus in on that work between the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th, and then on the 17th you have that new moon in Aquarius slash Pisces. It's a cusp moon, which is basically saying half of the day it's going to be in Aquarius, and then the other half is going to have Pisces energy. So just take it where it resonates. Always put these to you guys' local time zone so you'll know what's what. But yeah, there's also the element of the solar eclipse too, y'all, so keep that in mind as well. Now let me see. So tomorrow is we're starting off strong with the waning gibbous in Scorpio, and then we have a last quarter moon on Monday, and then we have the waning crescent in Sagittarius for about 3 days, and then towards the end of the week we'll be shifting to the waning crescent in Capricorn, which is leading us up, like I said, to that solar eclipse and new moon. So as y'all know, we've been talking quite a bit about how there are certain elements of these astrological transits that you are needing to take that time to plan and kind of decide how you'll be moving forward when it comes to your personal life as well as your business. And this is very much one of those moments. Now, I think that with Valentine's Day also occurring, Saturn is shifting into Aries as well at the end of the week. So the lessons will now need to be implemented. The seeds that you planted are now going to start to require action and movement, okay? So take that in mind too. So Saturn in Aries around the 13th and the 14th, and then we got that solar eclipse and that new moon. Then we moving into Pisces season. Woo, baby, it's a lot going on, okay? But this week, what you're going to be focused on is what we call waxing preparation. Now, this is going to be tapping into your vision, love, and abundance mapping. Now, there could be an abundance of many things, so make sure you're very specific when you speak on what you want to focus on in terms of abundance, because you could have an abundance of, challenges and things like that. We're also going to be focusing in on dream incubation as we get ready to move into the ethereal Pisces season. You need to be paying attention to what your dreams are telling you. Make sure you're drafting those messages. I do have a dream interpretation guide on our Patreon, so make sure y'all check that out so you can tap more into what they mean, what you can do when you come back, have certain things come to you. So take that into mind. And you also might, if you're experienced enough, you could dream walk on purpose. Now that's probably gonna call for a whole nother episode. But if you are skilled, I don't know everyone's level that listens to me, but if you're skilled, you can move through the dream world on purpose, astral projection, things like that. Now, like I said, this is like prep, because we're finna go into a waxing moon, and you know that you set the intentions, and then by the full moon, according to your effort, proper strategic planning, and what is due to you, you know, those things will start to manifest by the next full moon. Okay, so moving forward, let me see what's going. I'm looking at the almanac, guys. If you would like to check out the full almanac, get on my Patreon because it is available. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so now we're focusing in on high value clients and collaborators. If you are into your money and prosperity work, you're thinking about people who bring value and, you know, stepping out of that like hustle mentality. You want to be an evolved hustler. You're not really focused in on things that just come quickly. You don't want to sell yourself short. So this is the time to really focus in on how you show up in the world and what type of people you're attracting to your business and your personal life. Because you could be collaborating with somebody in your day-to-day life. This is work and love magnet money spells for partnerships. So again, if you are particularly wanting to work on not just love workings, but people who are aligned with your business and things like that, you don't force anybody. You simply set the tone for those people to come towards you that are in alignment with what you have to offer. And also you want to make sure, you know, they're good clients and good customers, because there is a good such thing as a bad client and a bad customer. I, for one, have, you know, had experiences, so I won't say that the customer or client is always right. So you just want to make sure that you guys gel and you align. Okay, so don't force it. You want to ask things like, or put in petitions like, people that align with me, things that are for my highest good, not just money, because our money ain't good money. Okay, now you also want to focus in on boosting your creativity when it comes to your revenue stream. So again, you've been in a very unique space where you are able to focus in on being creative, which is very much giving, because we was just in that Leo full moon aspect. So you already know Leo's all about creativity. Then you have the aspect of Aries, and Aries is about creating new things, new paths, you know, new identities even, because, you know, we spoke about the idea of the identity shift. But in terms of your revenue stream, you know, kind of mapping out how that will work for you, for your businesses and for your creative projects. Like if you are on social media, kind of taking the time out to get it all in line. And what boosts, what creative moments can you have? I might look into that for you guys as well. Let's see. Look, I be going down the list and I be like, how much of this do I want to tap into this week? Okay, so yeah, that new moon window will start to happen. Now, Valentine's Day is going to be very interesting this particular week, like I said, because you got that Saturn in Aries, you got that full moon, and it is Friday the 13th. But if you know, we discussed how Friday the 13th is not necessarily like an omen day. It's more of like a divine goddess type of day. So we're going to revisit that one as well. But yeah, so this week, what you going to be doing? You need to be doing the cleansings, so salt and citrus. If you need something a little bit more potent, you might want to explore black walnut and rosemary. You need to be cleansing your floors, your workspaces where you study, as well as portals. So all doors, all doorway, entryways, thresholds, windows, even mirrors, and images of doors. Okay, they all have that particular vibe. Now, this is going to make way for you to bring in what you're trying to come in, because you're trying to call in intentions. At this point, you are now focusing in on, okay, what no longer fits, what doesn't belong there. Let me clear out any stagnant energy. And y'all know we do that at the beginning of the month, kind of lighthearted, where we blow out the salt and we blow in the cinnamon to cast out like stagnancy and then bring in prosperity. Now, I spoke with you guys some time ago because an awesome creator gave me the insight about not just using cinnamon because that was a very masculine herb, but also tapping into like pumpkin spice and other elements like of spices that were more feminine, depending on how you wanted to approach your goals. So always be mindful and study your herbs, see what type of energy they hold when you decide to use them. Pumpkin spice is cool. I like pumpkin spice, but if cinnamon is quick, fast, and in a hurry. But just be mindful of the type of energy, like I said, that those herbs hold. And you can even create it into a wash, but first do make sure you cleanse your space. Also, when you guys think of cleaning, clean like you would normally clean first, then spiritually clean. And always make sure to cast your circles of protection, your cloaking, and then make sure you guys are sealing your workings, because if you are actually doing work and you're not sealing, and sealing can be something as simple as the 23rd Psalm, okay? That is the go-to if you are into it. But if you have any other phrases or sealing affirmations that you might use, then this is the place where you would put them. You need to seal it. You need to, go ahead and cover your work after you've cleaned, after you done the necessary things that you need to do to set the stage for you to be able to call in your intentions for the new moon. Now, it's going to be a big new moon. I know everyone, we be like, woo, 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 woo. But if you guys are studying, this is big. All of that energy stacked together is major, okay? Now, let's see. Just looking into here. So today, focusing on releasing any sort of outdated contracts, structures that don't, or things that don't rock with you, or that you need to dismantle and work from the bottom up. Today is also a good day for discipline as well. So what you are planning to do for next week, you need to go ahead and be thinking about it today. I usually record these on Sundays, but I was like, we need to do this. We need to do this today, okay? And it's just helpful. It creates that sort of balance. It creates that sort of ability to strategically plan for your endeavors. Okay. Now, let's see about the energy of today. How are we rocking? How shall we rock today? Let's look. Libra moon, baby. Where's Libra in your chart? Now, right now is good times rolling. Ever since I stopped doing the daily almanacs, I have been relaxed. But we are now out of the retrogrades of all of those planets. Right now, retrograde is only existing in Jupiter in Cancer and the North Node in Pisces as well. So you're getting a lot of inner work that's being done, dealing with the self, dealing with the things that are close and personal to you, and you're being kind of forced to slow down before it starts to expand into systems and people and communities and energy outside of yourself. You're being kind of forced to deal with the inner self and the past as well. So I am happy to see that we are only in 2 retrogrades, baby, because the retrogrades was going ham. So yeah, when we were reading for last week too. Let me see what's going on in terms of transits today. Okay. I like my dessert first. So we're going to look into these 0 degrees, which isn't many. It's just 2. And that's just absolute potent energy, guys. So we've got the moon in Libra, connecting Uranus and Taurus at 0 degrees. And we've got Venus in Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius is squaring Uranus and Taurus at 0 degrees. So loving energy, friend energy, self-love energy. Yeah, we're dealing with a lot of worths in terms of the community, the culture, what we value, what we hold true. And then we've got the moon. Okay, Libra. So that's relationships, fairness, justice. That's playing out interesting today too. But you be given the free will. So I just feel like a lot of that energy is going to be very much focused on like, what do you want? How do you want it? Are you willing to do what it takes? Things that weren't fair, things that weren't right are definitely being balanced out. We got a good little bit of squaring today. So that's more like hostile energy around identity. Like, people are having identity crisis. And, that's an interesting space to be in today and this week with that Saturn and Aries. And then, Neptune has also shifted into Aries. And so as we kind of come out of that fog with Saturn, and again, that doesn't happen till the end of next week, we get ready to come out of that fog, baby. And a lot of people don't like what they see. They're not liking what they see. But you also see a lot of businesses kind of revamping and, rebranding themselves in a way. I already told you guys right now is like a good time to kind of assess systems and things that you were doing in the past and then refining them. I wouldn't go for a whole new, shebang. That's going to be interesting to navigate through with all this energy. It's more purposeful to just do the work in-house, a remodel, if you will. Mercury is squaring Uranus at 3 degrees, so don't be arguing with people. Like, cater to who you cater to. All of these like conversations and speaking out of term, I wouldn't be bothered with it either. Mercury's in Pisces, so a lot of people are, they like to say we are kind of delulu, but now it's the time to find the solulu. Because what you say is going to directly impact what comes next. And so there's a little bit, and then, you want to speak in terms of like culture. It could stick. It could stick for a while with that Uranus energy and that Taurus energy. So you want to be focused on aligning with who truly shares your values and not just going along to get along and creating illusions, and then you don't really plan on showing up like that long term, business or personal. Okay. Let's see. Mercury is squaring Uranus, and then you got Venus is squaring Uranus as well. Ooh. So Venus is in Aquarius. So again, when I see that, I see like, don't go along to get along. Show up as your true authentic self. You will not regret it. It might be a little quiet, it might be a little weird, but you won't regret it when it comes time to like live out loud authentically, because you can't hide it anyway, especially with Neptune and Aries. You're not gonna be able to hide that shit, so you may as well get right. You may as well get right. Like, what is your business? What is your evolution looking like? What have you learned? What do you value? Be for real. And that's why it's very important. These next 7 days, for real. Y'all probably like, damn, she said, but this solar eclipse, man, how you gonna timeline jumping? You not even being, or identity shift, and you not even being real with yourself about where you're going. Do you have the capability to get there? And I mean that like emotionally, foundationally, like support wise, like what's real? You know what I'm saying? You're not assessing what's real, you assessing like some sort of fantasy, and that shit, it's not gonna fly this time. Forward facing energy for sure. The node is squaring Lilith, so that shadow work checks out. Lilith is in Sagittarius. So again, what does it like require to be free? What does, what type of shadow work do you have to do? And again, there's a lot of hostility around what people are willing to learn, what people are like, how they're communicating. The Mercury in Pisces, ooh, honey, it's very much given. Okay, let me see what else. The North Node is squaring Lilith in Sagittarius. Wow. And Chiron is sitting in Aries, Obs, and it's squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So again, stepping out of the identity that was created for you by your past communities, your family, people that were close to you, and you could be just outgrowing that. And again, we're going to continue to see content like that. We're going to continue to see people deconstructing religion, because Pisces is also about spiritual stuff too. We're going to continue to see you know, a lot of breakups. Maybe not necessarily speaking about those things. Because when I try to cover things now, like, I'm shuffling cards, y'all, also for the reading ahead. But when I try to cover things now, when I speak about my past experiences, I try to do it more so in a way that I am telling a lesson, or, you know, myth and lore, as opposed to like spilling tea. Like, I'm not really into the spilling tea aspect of the journey at this point. And I just think that's like your deepest inner, like, that phase is gone. Energy wise, like, there's a lot to be gate kept, and that is kind of playing itself out all across the board. For real, for real. I don't really have much for the culture today. We've been dealing with a lot of energy surrounding politics, obviously, immigration, and it is Black History Month also, so shout out to the culture. And now that part, yes. So, but yeah, outside of that, honestly, it's really just a bunch of mess. I had posted about like tying those other, I finished out some of the shows that I said I was going to use for decodes, and I'll get into that soon, like soon, like next 48 hours soon. But yeah, I finished out some shows. I did some decodes in terms of astrology and what happens next. So politics wise, we kind of covered that. So now it's time for strategy. Like, a lot of that shit honestly is just playing out like one big distraction. Like, yes, pay attention, but like, don't just consume yourself with it. Like, I'll listen, and then I'll be like, okay, you know, we need to strategize, we need to actually implement, because sitting in it, nah, that Aries energy ain't allowing for that this season. And so my thing is like, what's next? And I've kind of started to structure my offerings to the community like that too. Like, I'm not I want to just get out of that. Like, well, what's the inner workings? Like, no. We need to be figuring out your journey. How does it go with the current climate? What are you trying to accomplish? You know, like that type of thing. Like, not just the tea. Tea is cool, I ain't gonna hold you, but the grand scheme of things, it's not doing anything for us long term. Like I say, it's a distraction. It's fogginess. The fogginess that Pisces is kind of, we're getting out of that shit. Like, face it, deal with it, strategize through it, move forward. Okay. So yeah, that's an element. Let's go ahead and open these rows though, as I chit chat. Alright, spirits, thank you so much for opening the rows for me on behalf of the tribe. Thank you so much for covering and protecting us as we go on this journey. Thank you so much for the gift. You know I don't abuse the gift. I honor it. I appreciate it. I love it. I respect it. What guidance do you have for us today as we move through the week? The week ahead, honey. Head honcho. How I miss being able to channel with the music on here without getting flagged by YouTube. But you know, we keep it live and direct, obviously. But let's see what's going on. 1 day, 2 day. We're gonna talk about, let's see, past. We've got the Father of Baskets here, present. We've got the 7 of Baskets in reverse, collective. We've got the 9 of Baskets in the upright, near future. We've got the 6 of Coins in reverse. Overall, we've got the 10 of Baskets in the reverse. So you do have a little bit of drama concerning the familial and the close community, which I'm not shocked. So there are elements of you continuing to work through that. And maybe there was an issue with some sort of system of help over the past 6 years. But that Cancer energy is popping out here with that Father of Baskets, or it could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But I'm betting my money on Cancer. So really, you may have been quite loyal and quite faithful, and you could have been making certain decisions head over heart, and more heart than anything, because you were emotionally tied to the outcomes of your life, which I mean we all are. Now this seven of baskets in the reverse is showing me that there seems to have been some sort of delusion over the last 7 months that you have been working with, and you'll see that energy pop up this week. You were under the illusions. I had your head in the clouds is almost what I'm thinking here. Now, yeah, your head was in the clouds. Like, you might have just assumed that because you and these people were close that they would help you or be there for you, and that's not necessarily how that's playing out. So you this week have to be more focused in on making wise decisions when you step out to do things. Also do things because you love them. This is you receiving the life that you want, but not before you deal with certain energies of getting out of emotional like mind fucks, and getting out of making unnecessary gambles thinking like people gonna come save you, because this 10 of baskets in reverse is just showing me that these people aren't gonna come save you. But let me get some more on it. Tell me about the Father of Baskets. So there's two male energies here. I've got the Father of Baskets to the Father of Sticks in reverse, and that's water sign and fire sign. So maybe there was some sort of fear here. Yeah, someone is quite afraid of actually implementing some sort of plan idea. So it's like you've got the business, you've got the idea, you tapped into something that you truly do enjoy, but you're kind of like afraid to do this. And this could come from these, patriarchy or masculine figures from your past, and I'm seeing in your family unit. Tell me more. Now, someone may have done something quite reckless in the past is also what I'm picking up on. So you need to be mindful of that fire sign masculine trying to stop you from moving forward here, to throw things off balance. I got Libra energy here. Yeah, somebody would have done something. See, you focused on what you got going on, but then you've got aspects of people and situations from your past that are plaguing you and not being able to move forward because of these controlling personalities trying to stop you from going on this journey. Again, they could be even going so far as to do like things that are unlawful to you to get that done. Now, the aspect of Two of Coins 2 years ago, maybe. So there's something 2 years ago that could have happened, and maybe these people were doing this for about 2 years. But whatever they did to stop you from making a decision or going on a journey, it was wrong in the spiritual or physical realm. It's really what Spirit is saying. So you've been juggling this quite well, actually. You are protected from whatever this King of Wands, like distorted fire sign masculine energy, has been trying to do to you, to kind of force and bully and like you focused in on what brings you joy. Like, those are the things you're worried about. Not even worried, because it's not a worry. You do what you want when you pop in. You know how they say. So yeah, there is a family issue here, though, a support issue, but this is trying to make you succumb by force. Maybe, like I said, with that Six of Coins in reverse, with the drawing support, with the drawing help, not having the community, not having the network. to carry out your task, right? So tell me about the Ten of Baskets in reverse. So, yeah, there is some sort of pressure here. Seven of Coins in reverse. There is someone who maybe you weren't quite watching, and you weren't suspecting that they were the ones who were slowing you down. Like, you may have known your folks or your community was kind of iffy, but that wasn't really something you was paying attention to at the time. You weren't paying attention to that shit, for real. But Spirit wants you to know, 7 of Sticks. Over the next 7 days, you are going to experience a lot of opposition because you are deciding to do things differently. You may want to reach out to your guides, the protective guides that help you, and ask them for assistance with battling this situation, because, you know, I'm seeing like I said, that dream world energy. Like, you focused in on trying to heal yourself, make wise business decisions. And so you need to incorporate your spiritual team, whatever your flavor is, to assist you in fighting these battles. Summoning your inner strength to, like, do y'all got a spirit animal is also what I'm picking up. You might need to, like, tap into your spirit animal, you know, to see who sits in your protective house on your birth chart. Like, who's your guardian angel, who sits in your protective house, because the battles that you are facing are battles of the spirit, battles of tenacity and longevity, and I just heard they just trying to tie you out, to be honest, tiring you out, hoping you're not paying attention, you know, hoping that, again, it's just continuous. It's sad, but hey, family warfare, spiritual warfare, you know, hey, it's as American as apple pie, baby, or wherever you listening from. Okay, let's talk about these 7 of Baskets here. Past 7 months, you have been experiencing consistent delays, 2 of Sticks in reverse, and this has kind of made you somewhat bitter. There's been a lot of grief here. Maybe there were breakups and endings. This could have caused a lot of breakups and endings with that 3 of Knives in reverse. Yeah, and these are parts of your life. Scorpio is significant, where with the Death card in reverse, where you may not necessarily be interested in continuing these relationships and these cycles. Yeah, 2 of Baskets in reverse. So there's not a rebirth, and it's because of the amount of energy and time and resources that these people have been putting into making sure that you have delays, simply because they're bitter about the fact that these friendships and these relationships won't get a rebirth. They won't get to step into your next phase with you. This could be a Empress in reverse. Aries could be significant with the big queen. There's also a Virgo involved here. Yeah. So these people, you've been in hermit mode this week, and let me say, not you have been in hermit mode, but you could have. You're being encouraged to stay in hermit mode this week, though. Stay in hermit mode, like, because there's this energy of trying to, like, smoke you out, trying to get you to act out. There's some sort of materialism here, lack of leadership. What's that Virgo? Tell me more about that Virgo. That Virgo is doing baneful magic. Black Hermit in reverse. That Virgo is doing black magic. There's a Gemini energy here. There's also a Taurus. There's a High Priestess in reverse here. So this Virgo has paid a High Priestess to bend the energy around you. He did. Son of Sticks. This is a project that this person has pursued independently, but this is the person that's doing this. Now, you've got someone in the shadows, like I'm saying, it's that Virgo. That Virgo or that Scorpio. This person's in the shadows. Oh, Aries too. Again, selfish energy, bullying you because you don't want to be their friend. You don't want to be in a relationship with them. You don't want to be their business partner. You know, how dare you not want to rise to the top with me after I've mistreated you type of energy. How dare you heal and move on. Like, that's what I'm getting. So, yeah, this person, so this what you got to focus on this week. They're going to be actively fighting you, so you're gonna have to summon inner strength. You're gonna have to get prepared, make sure your rituals are on point when it comes to getting up and praying and grounding yourself, and you know, keeping your mind focused. You need to be emotionally like prepared, because you've got someone trying to bully you into not going on this journey. And this person, you know, there's something that they've done spiritually, spiritual court or physical court, and they want you to be the reason for the season. But no. No. Okay. Now, let's see about this Six of Coins. Less than 6 years. Someone has not offered you protection or support. So we got 6 of Coins in reverse to the 9 of Sticks in reverse to the 5 of Coins in reverse. Tell me more. Yeah, they was trying to have you out here down bad. No, like keeping you in this cycle of codependent energy with the 8 of Baskets in reverse, with the 5 of Coins in reverse. Having you in this situation where you may have felt worried, you felt unprotected in your physical endeavors because you was not receiving support from the, I've got heavy air quotes, the community. But I'm also hearing like you need to detach from this community. You need to be okay with the fact that you're not a part of these. And, you know, because the longer you consider like, oh, these are the people that I'm trying to market to, these are the people that I'm trying to impress or get to support me or buy my products, like, they're not your audience. In fact, they're battling you. Like on a spiritual plane and a physical plane, you know. Yeah. Yeah, there's an imbalance with the ancestral realm too when it comes to these individuals as well. Yeah, somebody has plans on carrying out some sort of plan here. That could be that Virgo, because I got the Son of Coins. He intends on carrying out some sort of plan. This person refuses to walk away because they are worried about the loss of some sort of protection. They haven't been able to pay or fulfill a job or request here. It's also what I'm picking up. Take it where it resonates, because, whoa, it's a lot you're going through. 7 days. 7 days. In 7 days, you could be battling. Ooh, a maze. But you could be in the state of, you know, no matter, even though you've got all this crazy ass shit going on around you, let me also point out, you're sitting here in this 9 of Baskets, your 9 of Baskets energy, and you should be focusing on planning out new processes and new goals, and, you know, getting yourself together for your new tribe, your new journey, because you are battling quite a bit with staying stuck in the past about what plans didn't work out and who's not supporting you. I heard a very interesting point that I also have touched on, so I'm gonna bring it up again. Like, you gotta have a funeral almost for these people. Have a funeral for those timelines. Like, it's time to render that shit DOA on arrival, okay? Like, if you don't allow these things to end, it will continue to cause imbalances in your relationships, in your business, you know, affecting how you approach things, right? You're going to get exactly what you want. Your dreams are going to be fulfilled, but you've got all this outside energy that, you know, what mind over matter, you know? They don't mind, so they don't matter. So it's easier said than done, but this is going to be just a good week of you training your mind to, like, not give a fuck what these people are doing. Like, the higher you vibrate, whatever manipulation is High Priestess in reverse is trying to put on you, it is going to be harder to reach you. A lot of times when people do like spell work, root work, and conjure, a lot of that energy is surrounding when you like fall victim to that shit. It's more or less about the fact that whatever triggers you, you need to work through that. And once you kind of work through certain shit, it's very hard to affect you. Like if they doing sickness spells, for example, if somebody doing a sickness spell on you and you more often than not a healthy person, it might hit you with a little headache, a little migraine, but then you pop right back, you pop out. If they doing spells on your money, you become a more financially like responsible. You get your budget, you get a system going. Like you have to figure out ways to spiritually and physically combat that type of energy, right? And that's gonna be the biggest lesson this week. Like, okay, what triggers me about this situation? How am I sitting in a low enough frequency where this energy can penetrate my field, right? And obviously I'm into the woo, so you need to be ready on all confirmation. You need to be ready on all levels. You need to be physically doing shit to combat, you need to be spiritually doing shit to combat, and, financial, like whatever triggers. So I ain't saying practical, I'm also saying practical magic, practical root work, practical conjure. So you go off and you say, okay, I know these people bothering me, let me put them in the fucking freezer so they'll leave me alone this week, right? 11:01 on the time step as I say this is you calling back your power. But now it's time to implement and do the necessary steps to kind of work past that energy. You can't just sit up and wait for it to fix itself. That's only like part of the problem. Like the interesting concept about spell work, and I started talking about this some years ago, and I'm gonna go back to this on Patreon very, very soon. But spell work is very much alchemy, is all of that. That's science. That's like hypotheses. Like, okay, if I do this, this happens, cause and effect. Like, you can't just throw a petition out there and then just don't do. You can't just light a candle. That's only like one part of the thing. So if you're doing prosperity workers, money workers, protection workers, you got to do the necessary things to protect yourself. You can't freeze a person and then go like looking at their energy, looking at their socials, shit like that. Like you got to put that, like, y'all get what I'm saying? Okay. I think y'all get what I'm saying. Okay, so yeah, you gonna get everything that you want, need, and desire. Ace of Coins just popped out, period. So you're sitting in this 9 of baskets, Ace of Coins, so that's 9 of cups. Your desires are going to be fulfilled this year. Now, that's the reason why they battling you, though. They don't want you to have these desires, and they're hoping that if they can direct your attention to fighting and battling and fighting who you are and fighting your identity, that, oh, okay, you might be distracted enough that you might fuck your own bag up. So the goals that you have right now, those are the things you need to be focused on. You also need to be focused on planning during the planetary hours and days of the week. Y'all know I'm big about planetary magic. Now, those things are shifting this season. So work in the previous season is not going to work this season. And I'm going to leave it at that, because if you know, you know. All right. So that's what the ancestors have to say. Yeah, they want you distracted. They want you fighting about who you are and what you are, and battling with your decisions, and like no. You're exactly where you need to be, and you need to be comfortable in what you're doing. Yeah, these people have been quite responsible, but they don't get to control the rest of the narrative. Like, you're not going to live in this situation. You're not going to live in the shadows, because that's what they want. They want you to stay in this dark space, is what I'm picking up with that death in reverse to the sun card in reverse. Like, stay in the shadows, stay dark, stay da-da-da-da. Like, you have to work through that shit, and that takes time, obviously. Like, but hey, no better place to start than now. No time like the present. Shit, what Lil Wayne said, never late, what is it, better late than never, but never late is better. See, that's why systems are very important. That's why proper planning prevents piss poor performance. If you take your time and strategize and implement your systems, when you do have a down day where you're battling things spiritually and emotionally, your systems are going to back you up. If you build a relationship with your ancestors and your spirit team, and this is a vibe that you doing every day. You're not just approaching these people on some, hey, do this for me right quick, and you don't venerate them, you don't give them their offerings, you don't talk to them, you don't show them love and gratitude without asking for some shit. Then obviously when you have a down day, like, you won't feel protected, you won't feel secure. Yeah, 3 of Pentacles in reverse to the 7 of Pentacles. They won't work with you if you don't put in the work. So put in that time, put in that work, build your systems, build your team in a productive way for you. See, I speak to the group of people that, are more like, you don't necessarily just react. Like, you've already had this shit planned out. It's a tripwire in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? It's a tripwire. I was waiting on you at the front door, you know what I'm saying? Type energy. Yeah, you dealing with a lot of baneful magic, though. Lots. And how do you combat that? By healing, by being proactive, by creating systems, by facing what you want and going after that shit relentlessly, okay? Yeah, it's more about inner conflict now than anything. Yeah, there is definitely something that was done unjustified. Libra is here for the past energy. Last Libra season. Today the moon is in Libra, so I don't know. Somebody definitely, these injustices, okay, get out of your head about fair. It ain't about fair, okay? And I go through this a lot. So I'm speaking from a place of knowing exactly where you come from. It ain't right. It ain't fair. It ain't da-da-da-da. Spirit wants you to get out your head about these injustices that happened in the past. Come to your business, your personal life, your freedom. Just get out of that. Get out of that. Yeah. Because you don't need to worry, because this group of people, they collaborated to do this to you. They are collaborating, and they're wanting you again to stay in the shadows, to stay in a dark space. That's why as soon as you have a negative thought, you got to replace that shit with a positive thought or some sort of action. The sun in reverse. Now, I also wanted to put out that whatever was done secretly, like a part of this group was the Virgo. There's an Aquarius and there's a Scorpio. These people were committed to some sort of belief here, but since you can't be ended, you could be a Scorpio. Since you can't be killed, you can't be ended. Your dreams can't be ended. They cannot take you out. They can't kill your dreams. They can't kill your business. They can't kill your vision. Heavy Scorpio energy, masculine Scorpio energy too. Confirmation. Yeah, they can't. They've been watching you. Somebody's been watching you, and this is also why you could have been kind of guided to stay in hermit mode. Yeah, somebody's realizing that they can't kill you, and they're upset. They're upset that you got away. 6 of Swords in your right. They can't take you out. They can't get you to make emotionally stagnant decisions. You are pretty strategic with how you handle your life, and they damn, I can't end this person. I can't physically end them. I can't financially. I can't business end them. Yeah, because you keep getting away. And stay away. Periods. Now, right now, you're dealing with someone that's very passionate here about keeping something under wraps or keeping you controlled. This could be that fire sign. He is a Sagittarius. That's what just popped up. Somebody's passionate. They think this is a way to restore balance, and the only way to restore balance is to What's that? Yeah, they want to restore balance, but it's like you're refusing to make peace with this individual is kind of messing up their reputation. That Hierophant in reverse, Taurus. Yeah, and they're ashamed. Their family could be ashamed. They don't have community support. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is causing a tower for that person. They want to restore temperance. But this is about controlling a narrative, controlling your movements, controlling your plans. Collective. So again, whatever you gain in terms of finances this week, you could be juggling a lot, but you need to be being responsible with these this money that you're gonna get, this business you're starting, because you don't want to, I just heard old habits die hard. You don't want to have to deal with these extra ass people. You don't want to have to seek assistance. You don't want to have to deal with people who are abusive. You don't want to have to deal with being worried about things changing within your stability all of a sudden. So you got to plan and be responsible when it comes to your finances. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles came out twice. You gonna get what you need. Don't trip. 9 of Baskets, Ace of Coins, 2 of Pentacles to the Ace of Pentacles. So whatever you need to get started, whatever you need to do, what's happening, you are going to get that. You are going to get your chance. You're going to get your opportunity, but they need you to be responsible with these opportunities. 11:11 on the timestamp. Be responsible when it comes to your planning. Like, this is the year that you're kind of building. So you are going to be given another chance to execute some sort of plan that maybe you didn't get a chance to do in the past. But again, you got to be responsible. You got to be responsible. Because there is someone here. You maybe were taking on burdens that didn't belong to you. And this is what stopped you from moving forward in this previous season. Or take it where it resonates. There is a Cancer here that refuses to move on because they are burdened. Yeah. Or, they want to burden you and stop you from accomplishing some sort of long-term goal here. And they don't want to give you the opportunity to embarrass them. So this person they could have betrayed you in a previous timeline. Now, I'm also going to read this in a different way too, right? So there was a betrayal that caused some sort of major fail or embarrassment. And, maybe you didn't take the advice, or you didn't go in the direction that you were being given. Like, you didn't follow directions, and this slowed down your progress, your money, you mean goals. But this is because, again, you were taking on responsibilities that weren't your own. Yeah, you were moving out of emotion quite a bit. It caused a lot of misfortune. It's Cancer energy here. And, there was no one to help you with that that 6 of Pentacles. That cycle is closed out, though. You not getting help, you being in misfortune, you moving out of your emotions. That's how you end that, right? Okay. Walk away. Just walk on by. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8 cups. Make peace with the fact that shit went left and walk away, because these people are willing to do whatever. The Magician in reverse. It's a High Priestess in reverse in the building. It's a High Priestess in reverse. Okay. And she's tied to that Virgo. That's why you got to make peace and you got to heal and vibe on the higher frequency, because they're expecting you to stay in the shadows, in patterns that don't serve you. Yeah, this is the person, they willing to win at all costs. 5 weeks is significant. Yeah, this person there's a Leo who's also going to be taking action over the next 3 days. A Leo could have come to a decision here, but they rushed into this. A Leo could have helped this person. make this decision. But they rushed into this without knowing all the details that Leo rushed into this. They got themselves involved in some shit, and this person could have shared some sort of knowledge. Capricorn is significant with the devil here. They shared this knowledge, and now this person seems to be obsessed with you. This Queen of Pentacles energy, obsessed with battling whatever it is that you're nurturing or building, which is about, has to definitely do with your stability and your freedom here. And this King of Pentacles in reverse, maybe being quite stubborn about mending this relationship. There's a King of Pentacles here who's being exposed for like stealing or whatever, and this person, they could have hurt you, or they could be hurt and they are being exposed. Somebody's hurt, they're being exposed. Cancer, yeah, they're embarrassed. And you could have had some sort of dream. You and this person could have had a family. You could have been a family with this person, with the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Cups. And this person just refused to invest. And this King of Swords, they may lied. And now recently, this Queen of Wands may have been trying to manipulate someone in terms of taking a leap of faith with a relationship, and it's just not working out. They aren't able to build anything against you because you have healed from the trauma that was like there. And I say this all the time: if you don't revisit the past, it ain't nothing that these people can do with you, because they're operating, they're building their cases, they're building what they think you might do off of old material. So all you got to do is heal. Three of Swords. So the King of Wands, and I'm going to keep my team brief. The King of Wands, somebody's going to offer you some sort of chance or opportunity. You're going to see this person coming though. So there's nothing that you have to be in regret about. You don't need to collaborate with this person because you know they're trying to trap you, all right? Yeah, they don't really care at all. They refuse that offer because it's manipulation, trying to manipulate you and then leave you out in the cold. You're the Empress. You've got this, and you don't need to be putting any type of work into a Emperor in reverse. You've got options, you've got opportunities, and this is a wound from the past. You know, when you were unhealed, you made bad decisions, but now that you see what it is, you're stable in your thinking. This person may be trying to do something to you to hold you up from making progress or sacrifice your forward movement by keeping you in this stagnant space. But again, this is a lot more to do with an inner battle than an outer battle. So heal from that and keep it moving. I'm going to keep my team brief, guys. I definitely appreciate you tapping in and engaging with my content. I do see that you are on the right path and you are healing. 3 weeks is very significant, so make sure y'all drop that down in your journals or your grimoires or your plans. Continue to resist, because these people are still going to be doing manipulation tactics, but you need to adapt. Adaption is the core card that came out, right? You're ready for whatever. Octopus might be significant. Octopus. Okay. So I'm going to close the roads. And I'm going to thank the spirits for coming through to give us guidance and support on how to move in the next 7 days. And if you guys are interested in getting birth chart readings or forecasts, click the link in my bio. I do have available sessions for you guys to participate in. Again, thank you so much. Don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe, you all. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You never know who it might help. Have a beautiful week, and check out Patreon for the elemental forecast for the remainder of 2026. Turn your notifications on, okay? All right, guys. Love you, mean it. Chat soon.